If that's your goal, then put me on.
All right, hey everybody, we're here at the dog park again, and I got Mr. G here for privacy purposes. Mr. G, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How
All
are
right,
you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's
Excellent.
a wonderful day, great weather, wonderful breeze, everything's good. So I got a couple questions for you. One question is, it's been a couple weeks since the fire started, but what are your opinions of the fires in Maui?
Well, obviously, it's a hugely tragic occurrence that disproportionately affects the, I guess, the poor segment of the population, unfortunately, which is what happens with almost any disaster.
Right.
And probably mostly preventable. I agree with that. They took out a lot of the native grasses, from what I heard, and now they feature almost totally tourist-friendly island, but that's not necessarily an ecologically friendly island. So yeah, I think it was totally preventable. However, we still have time to help these people out if we make a concerted effort. That's my question: is how much are we going to spend and how much are we going to expend to help everybody out there?
Mm-hmm.
Some question.
Right. There seems to be a lot of things attached to people helping people in Lahaina.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but there has to be some money for Ukraine for some reason. I'm just saying there are our people. Why don't we help them out first?
And now the hurricane in Florida.
Yeah,
that's gonna be another
exactly.
one. But the interesting thing in Maui was one thing I did hear is that right after, everybody, celebrities included, are all saying, "Hey, please stay away from the islands. We're trying to help and rebuild, and there's a lot of homeless. We don't need the tourists right now," which I totally get. But then I don't know if you heard the small business owner in Maui say, "No, please come.
We need money.
We need the business. Mm-hmm. We need to survive. We've had this COVID thing, and if the tourists don't come in, our small local businesses are not going to survive." So I see that totally too. That's a tough balancing act, though. But mm-hmm. Yeah, to just go ahead and shut off total visiting to the island, I think it's going to be that's a bad policy.
Certainly seems like there's a lot of messes to be cleaned up here. So it's a process. So recently, I've heard some rumors on the news and some confirmations that the administration is thinking about bringing back the COVID restrictions, the lockdowns, the shop mandates, all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't heard that. I heard new strains develop all the time, just kind of like the flu now. It seems like it's going to be every year you need a new shot. I think the COVID, I mean, it's a real thing. However, you've got so much weariness with that first roughly 2 year lockdown thing, that even though I think if the government and the doctors say it's a good idea, it probably is, but I just don't think you're going to get any adoption at all. People are just worn out mm-hmm. from the first round.
You think people are just going to say, "No, I'm not doing it, not going to comply"?
If it's mandated, I think you're going to have a lot more. You had a lot of pushback already last time, but I think you're going to have a lot more. It upended the economy, although I do think it was a good thing to do, because a lot more people probably would have died. But now, I just think people are they're just weary of it. I think if it wasn't called COVID and instead had like an exotic name like Ebola, we'd have total 100% adoption in about 10 minutes,
Right.
Like that, those are horrible, and COVID's horrible too, but it's not, people are thinking it's the flu now. Yeah. I could see the government doing it. I don't think it's going to be effective at all.
You don't think so? People are just going to say, "Nah, I don't want to do it"?
Unfortunately, yeah. I think it's probably a good idea, especially for the elderly and the really young that are too young to get mm-hmm. vaccines. Those vulnerable populations are going to suffer the brunt of it, just like before. But yeah, I think hopefully it's not as virulent as this first round was, where it was, took out over 1 million, I think, U.S. citizens, something like that.
There's varying numbers, yeah.
But I think they did hit officially they hit the million. So I don't know, but yeah, hopefully it's not as dangerous as the first time around. And we could definitely use some cooperation from all governments, right? Including China, who were not very forthgiving with the information. Let's be honest about it.
It's true.
They really should have, stepped up right away and said this is a global pandemic. But the guy that I think discovered it in China, one of the doctors, he was jailed within a week when he said,
Yeah.
this is a new thing. And they said, okay, come on.
Yeah, they did jail him, which is a little suspicious to me.
Yeah, how about a little, yeah, have a good one. How about a little solitary confinement until
Yeah, right. And daily beatings until morale improves.
That's right.
So, all right, Mr. G, I do appreciate your input.
Thank you.
And like I said, we'll have this on a podcast later.
Okay.
So cool.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
No problem.